So one more question parents generally have is socialization. Do homeschooling kids, are they capable of socializing with people?
I think you can answer that better than me.
So
I'll just skip this one for you to answer in another video. Go to the next question.
Yeah. So how about the ideal virtues required in mankind? How does homeschooling be able to provide all this if done properly?
For homeschooling to be able to provide all the virtues that are necessary for mankind, first the parents will have to learn. We cannot expect children to learn something until and unless we are thorough with it.
So can you enumerate and enunciate the virtues that have been entailed?
The very first virtue that mankind can ever have is faith in God. That's how I started my journey into homeschooling, because I was not having any help for this homeschooling venture, except of course my husband, who supported me a lot. Other than that, there was absolutely no help, nor even any moral support from my own parents or even my in-laws. So that is one virtue that I seek in all parents. I wish all parents have that. That is faith in God. And the next virtue is that we must incorporate love and appreciation in our lives. Whichever child we come across with a slightest talent, we must love it and appreciate it. Because when you do that, you are actually opening more and more doors for yourself, for your children to learn. Because if you don't appreciate somebody in their talent, they will not be open to teach you anything. So this is how I started my journey. Any kid I used to look at, like if a child would know how to climb the tree in the government school, I would just go up to that child, hug it and just say, hey, you're so talented, you're able to climb, will you teach my son this? And there I would get one teacher, this way we should try and search for virtues in others only if we have them in ourselves. And the next thing is jealousy. We must never have jealousy in our heart. That has to be rooted out, no matter what. If I don't have something that somebody else has, I need not be jealous of it. All I need be is happy that they have it, but I look forward to having it too. Maybe we can have a desire for that, but not jealousy, because that's going to put us back 2 steps. One is with the feeling that I can't even move forward if I'm jealous. I can't even learn anything if I'm jealous. And then the other step that I move backward during jealousy is that my hormones get affected, and that is very detrimental. And apart from this, there are many more virtues that we need to seek in ourselves, and that is health and hygiene. So never look for a shortcut in your life. Have your kitchen really well organized, so that you don't look for a shortcut of hotel food or junk food or anything like that. So that is also one virtue. Make everything at home.
So some things that are being noticed in children who are gone through who have gone through regular schooling is that they are not they're generally not enthusiastic to try a new subject. Would you associate this to regular schooling, and how would you do that?
Yes. The reason is, most of the time children who go to regular school are tired. From morning till night they are so tired. They don't get ample sleep, they don't get good and nutritious food on time, and so this happens often. They are not enthusiastic over any new subject, and also that they enter a trance state when they keep watching TV, and so that makes them, dumb for the moment. They may not be really dumb, but it just they just can't react to any new subject. So for that to happen, homeschooling is the best way, because you can control that. You don't show them any TV, you don't watch it first of all, and then you don't show them. But I do watch movies after putting my children to bed, because I want to learn what's happening in the world, and also show it to my children, of course deleting the parts that that are not necessary for young ones. So we need to know the wrong that is happening to be able to value the right that we have in our hands.
Initiated for leadership. This is commonly absent in 99% of people who come out of the conventional schooling system, and is overtly expressed in the 1% who come out of the system.
Yes. Which is expressed in the form of bullying instead of leadership, like I said earlier. So it's being mistaken. So
humility is a wonderful virtue, and
humility is absolutely missing in the school-going children. They have no humility. They just feel, either they feel submissive, or they just have this, they brag about their things. They associate, yes, they associate with they associate their identity with the things they possess.
Yes, so I think, can you please tell the huge differences between the characteristics of a homeschool child and a normal conventional school-going child?
This is of course not meant to try to put down a child that's coming from the conventional system. Every child has that talent that is yet to be kindled.
Yes.
And that talent can be expressed through this video. So that's why we're trying to enlighten.
Definitely.
We're not trying to put others down. That's the sincere motive of this video.
Definitely.
Which is very, it's crucial to express this motive.
Yes, definitely. Because we want every single child to blossom and not just be hidden away or curbed. So this video is definitely not for propagating homeschooling in that manner. This is just to help out people who are already in trouble with the regular schools and they are not happy. They want to see if they can tap the potential in their children, which I'm sure there is in every child, because every child is a gift from God.
Regular schooling generates numerous psychological complications and disorders, mild or extreme, that will need a whole PhD to analyze. But one simple thing is that instead of trying to analyze those disorders, we can just opt to continue on the path of homeschooling.
Yes.
My mother is also going to cover the problems in modern day Gurukula system and the benefits of ancient day Gurukula system and how can be incorporated into homeschooling too in another video. But for now, health conscious and hygienic. This is a very important attribute of a person who is homeschooled. Generally, if homeschooling is done very well, how would you associate this to homeschooling?
See, only if the health of the child is fine will the child be able to perform in school, whether it is regular school or homeschool. So health is utmost important, and this idea of health cannot be taken care of when you are putting your child through the daily grind of a regular school, wherein he has to hop into a bus, get to the school, sit there wearing the shoes and socks all day long, get suffocated, then come back home. No, I'm so sorry, but I have gone through this too, and I have seen my son go through it when he was very little. So I'm not happy with this, and I strongly, feel that that is one reason why children are not able to perform. It's not their fault at all. It's us who are, forcing them to get into a regular school.
The ability to perform an austerity could be religious, could not be religious, whatever it is, the capacity to be able to tolerate tolerance and austerity. How would you associate these two essential qualities to homeschooling?
Yeah, this happens at home easily than in a regular school. In the regular school, child will be going through a lot of frustrations, wherein when the child gets home, he or she is frustrated and asks the mom to, give me this, give me that, and then, the child cries, and then the parents have no other way to pacify the child but to get him some junk which gives him immediate solace. But the same does not happen in homeschooling. In homeschooling, we have nutritious food ready for the child to consume at the right time. So the child never goes hungry, never goes, frustrated. So this is the joy of homeschooling. You can ensure that. But even if in homeschooling, if the parent is, negligent and callous and not well organized, the same chaos can happen in homeschooling too. So when I elaborate on the steps of homeschooling, how to begin homeschooling, and step 1, step 2, step 3, I will go in an order. Right now we are just discussing ad hoc, but later on when we do it properly, I will put in all these steps too.
Great thinkers like Chanakya and Thiruvalluvar, and also the Vedas and the Shastras, which are the origination of mankind, have enunciated two major problematic qualities, that is gossip and unwanted talk and blabber. That is very common today, especially even in the advanced age of in technology. Technology has been completely filled with gossip. So how would you differentiate between a school-going child and a homeschooled child in relation to gossip?
Yeah,
homeschooling contribute to gossip if not done properly?
Yes, of course.
Homeschooling bar the avenues for gossip if done properly?
Yes, of course. See, in a regular school, there is gossip all the time, because kids come home with their friends, their groupism issues, and their bullying issues and whatnot, and that's just pure gossip, and it's not required, and it's detrimental to their moving forward in their academic as well as their life skill learning. But whereas homeschooling, you have a choice as a parent to stop the gossip at every single point by not indulging in gossip ourselves. So for example, if I get a call from one of my old friends or whoever it might be, my acquaintance or whatever, when they start talking gossip, like, we went to that party, we met this person and that person and things like that, I just shut my mind. I go like, okay, now this is going a different direction. And I just, so I just say like, I have something to do now, so please excuse me, and that's it. I don't talk further. Yeah, I don't talk further on that topic at all. I give no room for gossip. So if all of us can do that at home, then homeschooling is the best. But whereas regular schooling, you just can't control it. That already has happened, and they come back home with it. So they bring the baggage. They have to tell about it.
So homeschooling doesn't work when the parents are addicted to either intoxicants or social media and stuff like that?
Yes, it doesn't work at all. If a parent is addicted to even coffee, I should say, with 10 cups of coffee a day and things like, all the time. See, you can have natural coffee with coffee beans, but you must restrict it to once a week or once in a month, depending on. Yeah, so one disadvantage that I forgot to mention was, lack of sunlight, which causes vitamin D deficiency in most children. So most school going children are the ones who are suffering from vitamin D deficiency, again which results in B12 deficiency, and in turn results in all the vitamins not being well absorbed by the body. So it's high time people think about homeschooling.
That's wonderful, Auntie. So what have been the influences of traditional, conventional schooling on your life? What did you want to be, and what has been the outcome due to it?
I don't even know how my days went by during my schooling. It just, I think I wasted.
They weren't significant.
Yeah, I wasted all my time in wasteful topics, I guess. My friends and
How about people who have really achieved stuff, like gaining big marks in their big exams? What would you feel are the problems in their lives, and how that would affect them? The studies they do, the advanced studies they do. How do you feel about those type of extremely strenuous activities towards a rat race sort of, running behind scores and marks?
Yeah, that thing, is very saddening to note that most people who have scored very high marks, or in they've got distinction in their subjects, in their exams, and they've secured a very high profile job or whatever it may be in their lives, but if they lack faith in God, and they have been very suicidal, and we've seen many cases of engineering students, the final year students, jumping off the building and jumping off multi-story building and stuff like that. It's very saddening to note that even MBBS doctors, they commit suicide. It's very sad. And also the trend of suicide is passing on to youngsters these days. It's like a 12th grader or even a 10th grader, if he doesn't get the marks that he thinks he's supposed to get, he's under pressure. Yeah, he's under pressure. The parents think that way. And so I remember when I had enrolled you in a government school when you were little, just for babysitting, because I didn't want you to go study there, but I wanted you to just be with other children, have some social time, and get to know how life is on the other side. It's not green always. So I wanted you to learn the problems of life too. So when I used to send you there, the teachers would ask me like, exam, how about the exams, and yeah, we'll give you the result, whatever the exam he writes, and we will let you know. So I would just coolly tell them, like, I'm not even bothered how much my son scores, because for me, honest assessment of my child happens on the spot. Like, we study one subject, we discuss, and then I get to know that, okay, the child knows the subject well, and then we move on to the next. We don't keep memorizing the same thing for the whole year and then get bored with it, and then sit and write an exam at the end of the year.
Very true.
So these are the things which actually make children never want to study in their life.
But if the child is really loving the conventional education, that's different, but still it has two major disadvantages. One is the child is not exposed to a very important life skills that may not seem important now, but may dawn their importance in later parts of life. And number two, only 1 in a million people actually love the conventional system of education, and they excel in it due to that. And second of all, one more thing I wanted to say was that everyone is made for a different purpose. You might agree with that. So everyone has their own unique interests, and if they're all forced to do one thing, for example, engineering or medical science, or just say anything that conventionally gives you money. So various fields have been blocked out. Various interests have been cut down in the last few centuries due to this new system of education, this so-called traditional system of education that has been imposed on people. People are not able to fulfill their dreams of life, and they all have been pushed into either of the three categories unless and until they are so strong as to push away the storm that comes along their lives.
Yeah, but oftentimes the offbeat subjects are the ones which actually let you survive in life. So you can see there are places where very horrific diseases are treated, and there is a line which just goes the entire town. The entire town is filled with people. They stand in line in queue just to get treated with some paralytic stroke or some strange disease which cannot be cured by the modern medical science. And there are people who know some ancient herbs. They bring it from the forest and then they give them in the right quantity, and it really miraculously cures the person who's suffering.
Does homeschooling mean that a parent allows a child to completely get submerged into one particular field and completely blocks a child from learning anything else, so as to remove the attention of the child from that subject? For example, music nowadays, certain parents recognize the talent of music in their children, and they sometimes block their child from any other subject, and they just push the child towards this one thing. And that, so what do you think about that?
In homeschooling, it's like this. Whatever the child likes to study, we give the child that subject. But nevertheless, we can't ignore the other subjects which are mandatory. For example, language skills, math skills, basic math like plus, minus, multiplication and division, like the normal operations, ratio, percentage, profit and loss, and
those are unavoidable.
Needed, not unavoidable, but they are needed for a day-to-day life also. So measures and all of this, if a child gets those concepts right, and geography. No, I was just telling you as an example of math. So if a child is taught from all areas a little bit of each area, then that should do. And the rest the child can choose his or her own path. For example, it was astrology for you. I was glad because there's medical astrology in it. There is you can learn so much of rich grammar in it. There's Sanskrit in it. There is astronomy in it and study of planets. So there's so much of science in it. And also mathematics, so many calculations. So I was glad when you were showing me, these are the books. And
that's wonderful, Aditi.
Yeah, but there were people who used to ask me, what is your son going to do? Every little nook and corner you find a hand sign on the boards, like astrologer, like they show one hand sign and then there is a number written on a board. So I was like, no, see, I'm not keen on my son doing this as a profession. So he's just studying, so it's his life, he likes it. At that time I didn't even know that this could become your profession also. I just used to
so it's something like a vocation that makes me feel
that you're in vacation always.
That's of course true. So we should do what we love. That's the
yes. And there's this song, it's my vacation. What's that song?
I'm on vacation.
I am on vacation.
So those are the questions we had for you, IT, today, and the viewers can watch the other episodes on homeschooling which are going to come up in the next few days, and almost every 4 or 5 days we'll be uploading one episode, and you can watch these episodes and slowly learn how to homeschool your children, and my mother will guide you at every single step. So thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.